The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
The content heard on the Ask Dr. Tommy O Show is for informational or educational purposes only and does not substitute professional medical advice or consultation with healthcare professionals.
Hi, this is Dr. Thomas O'Brien. For almost 25 years, I specialize in offering families an affordable concierge service to avoid paying costly medical insurance or unreachable deductibles without giving up premium health care. As an osteopath, I offer osteopathic adjustments alongside medical examinations. Also, I offer discounts to military and first responders. I am now accepting no-fault patients, which include osteopathic adjustments, medical treatments, and prescription services, including medical marijuana. At my practice, my patients never pay copays and still receive the most personal and complete medical care. I have spent my career devoted to providing healthcare at affordable prices. Everybody should have a relationship with their physician. I work for you and your family. The honor and privilege is mine. If you have been in an automobile accident, please call my office at 631-980-8200 for an immediate appointment. To learn more about me and my practice, visit drtomio.com. Again, I am accepting no-fault patients. Call my office for an immediate appointment, 631-980-8200. Welcome to the Ask Dr. Tommy O Show. I am your host, Dr. Thomas O'Brien. The Ask Dr. Tommy O Show can be heard every Wednesday at 4 p.m. on 103.9 LI News Radio. I offer a very affordable concierge practice, which allows you access to the quality care you really deserve. With no rushed office visits, both you and I can discuss your healthcare needs. If you wait, it may be too late. To my military family, I got your six. To my Masonic brothers, the light is bright. Please welcome my co-host, Sammy Vanny.
Hello, hello.
How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Things are pretty good, looking good. The business is good.
That's good. You were a little busy last week. You were running a little late.
Oh, yes. I was sweating it out. I'm saying, this is live. I got to be here. Out of my way. I'm moving through traffic.
I called you. You were freaking out. You're like, I'll be there soon. You're like, just get everything ready for me.
Exactly. You can't be waiting for a live show.
That is true.
The show goes on.
I mean, I could have just taken over. It's okay.
There you go. Well, one day you will. All right. So everything's well with your family, Mom?
Everything's good. Everyone's doing good.
Yeah.
She's good. She got accepted into Hofstra. That's where she'll be going.
Okay, good.
So she went to go see it. She loves it. She'll be dorming there. Thank God.
Really?
Out of the house, which means I can be gone.
She's gonna be, She's gonna be she's gonna be living in the towers there, huh?
Yep.
Hofstra USA. That was big back in the 80s.
That's where I'm gonna go to hide out from my mom.
There you go. All right. So this is gonna be we're going to continuation from last week. So Semaglutide Part 2, the weight loss injection medication. And the reason for that is this past weekend, how many people have texted me or called me or sent me messages through social media asking me questions. So I figured let's, have a Part 2. I really want to go over this in detail, add a little bit more information. I was a guest on Back to Business, which is David Levinstein's show, and he was asking me some questions. So I wanted to continue those questions and incorporate into today's show, as well as, again, answer these questions that we covered last week. And that will just clarify if there's any, people had any questions or they weren't sure, so I can clarify it. I wanted to go over one thing because one person asked, they asked me, what is concierge? They like, well, is that a term and for something for people who have money? Because, concierge is, typically with the upper socioeconomic status. No, a concierge practice is something where you're paying for a service. And in my particular service, in my office, it's a very affordable fee. So it's $100 a month and you can see me as many times as you want. $100. That's it. Your cell phone bill, your cable bill, your monthly cable bill is more expensive than here you're having your own physician. I have a limited number of patients, so I can spend that quality time and I can care for you. In a traditional practice, the physician, what they're teaching residents today, one complaint, 5 minutes. One complaint, 5 minutes. For me, my introduction's longer than 5 minutes. Right?
We know.
So that's what concierge is. I have a very affordable practice. No, I do not take insurance. But if you do have insurance, your co-pays, when you start adding it up, and the amount of time it takes you to get in to see your doctor, right now your wait is 6 weeks. To see me the same day or the following day. I'm going to be able to get you in because I'm only going to have a limited number of patients, which my slots are filling, and they're filling quick. So if you want this type of service, an affordable service, you want that quality care, no rushed offices. I spend a half hour for my follow-ups. That's your time. There are no phones in my rooms. I don't even bring my cell phone in my room because this is your time. That's what you're paying for. All right. So let's go.
Alrighty, so before we get started, for the next month, we're giving away 50 vouchers for a full body adjustment, including a detailed physical and spinal examination, along with the personal adjustment treatment plan, all for just $49. Normally a $250 total value. This is a limited time offer, as we've had a lot of interest, so we encourage you to call the office today and schedule your appointment. We look forward to serving you.
Yep, thank you. Well, this is about manipulation. So if you have chronic neck and lower back pain, come in and see me. I'm an osteopath, okay? Chiropractic came from osteopaths. Our founding father, Dr. A.T. Still taught D.D. Palmer, the founding father of chiropractic, how do we say manipulate, but he coined the phrase adjust and then coined chiropractic. So they came from us. So I prescribe meds. I can do minor surgery because I'm not a surgeon, and I adjust, okay?
All right, so we have a few questions here for you.
Mm-hmm.
So when we think of ideal body weight or overweight or obesity or morbid obesity, how do you define those?
Right. Well, that's important. Okay, so what is ideal body weight? Ideal body weight it's a measure when we take the height and frame size and we make it as a calculation and we come up with a number, and that number is your ideal body weight. And for overweight, what we do is we look at the ideal body weight, and if you are 10% above your ideal body weight, that is what we call overweight. If you are 20% over ideal body weight, okay, only 20%, you are considered obese. That's right. 20% over ideal body weight is obese or obesity, okay? Now, when we get into 100% over ideal body weight, okay, and then that's morbid obese. So it doesn't take much to become obese. Now, on David's show, we were talking about myself. Now, I'm 5'5", and I train, and so my ideal body weight based on my height and my frame size, I am a medium frame size, my frame is medium, I should say, and my ideal body weight is 158 pounds. Now, because with all my training, I am a large frame, working myself into an extra large frame, but my weight is 217 pounds, so when you factor all it in, I'm obese. But when you look at me, I don't have a big belly, right? I don't have that. That's because the additional muscle. So, when someone comes in and I'm factoring, I have to look at their musculature and their frame size, talking about the size of their bones, and I have to calculate and add in an additional percentage on top of what we consider the height and ideal body weight, and that's where we calculate their ideal body weight. All right?
So it is possible to be like overweight and healthy, or like obese and healthy.
Well, look at me. Someone just walked into the radio station here. Okay, hello. Yeah, we love you. Thank you. Okay. Literally, we're in the, so you understand where we are. We are in the airport, and literally we had someone open up the door and just stand there at the door. So that's why it was a little silent.
I didn't know what you were pointing to. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, this is live radio. You go with the flow. Okay, so yes, like myself, all right? Again, I'm going to use myself as an example where based on my weight, yes, I can lose weight. I have some weight. I can go down about probably a good 10, maybe 15 pounds. But then now I'm starting to get into, like, if I wanted to compete weight where I'm going to get shredded. I'm not interested in that because then I'd have to diet down. But yes, you can be, like I said, I would be obese, but I'm healthy, okay? This is because of my training.
I feel like obese just has such like a negative term to it now. It's just so negative now, especially for women. It's like, I don't know. It's just being a woman is a lot.
Yeah.
And then you hear the word like obese, and like someone can look like you can be medically obese, but someone is healthy. So I don't know.
Right.
It just has such a negative ring to it.
Yes. Well, that's why, you have to be very careful what you say to people, but you want to be honest and understand your audience. Okay. So when someone comes in, I have to understand who I'm speaking with, and I know how to speak with them. In certain ways, I have to say certain things. I need to get my patient from point A to point B and is in a straight line as possible. But I have to see what those barriers are. Sometimes it's going to be physical barriers. Sometimes it's going to be, behavioral barriers, meaning how they're going to respond to what I say. So I'm going to have to negotiate to get them where I want to be, let's say in a healthy phase. All right, so we got 15 seconds left, and right now no one's walking in. So to learn more about my practice, you can go to drtomio.com. That's drtomio.com, or give my office a call at 631-980-8200. 980-8200. Welcome back to the Ask Dr. Tommy O Show. I'm your host, Dr. Thomas O'Brien. The Ask Dr. Tommy O Show can be heard every Wednesday at 4 p.m. on 103.9 LI News Radio. I offer a very affordable concierge practice, which allows you access to the quality care you really deserve. With no rush office visits, both you and I can discuss your healthcare needs. All right, so this is part 2. Welcome back.
Hello, everybody. Did you miss us?
That's it. Okay, so what's today's topic?
So today's topic, we were talking about semaglutide. And I actually think this is interesting to learn about because me, especially being a woman, body weight, and learning about how we gain weight, how we lose it, I want to know more, especially with the weather. Everything's getting nice. Like, I want to know a healthy way in order to lose it and not just starve myself like other people. Like, they think that that's okay, but we don't really have the facts, or we're not interested in the facts. We're just more interested in how do I lose it.
Right.
So learning about this is really interesting. I like listening to it.
Right. Well, you're talking about like these fad diets or fasting. Okay. People start fasting, the fasting diet. But the problem with that is you have a yo-yo. You're going to lose the weight. And then when you put the weight back on, you have a tendency to put back on more weight than where you started with. And that's what we call the yo-yo. So you have to be really careful. We always say input versus output. Input is the amount of calories that you're taking in. Output is the amount of energy that's being used to burn those calories. If you want to lose weight the proper way, which we're going to go into, you want to increase your output and decrease your input. So eat less and exercise more.
Okay, so we started off with what is body weight, ideal body weight, overweight, obesity, and morbid obesity. And now, why do we gain weight?
Yes. Well, there's so many factors, but one of the biggest reasons is sedentary lifestyle, decreased aerobic activity levels. Again, input is greater than the output. Input. What do you mean input? Input means the amount of calories that you're taking in, the caloric intake. So we have what we call a metabolic rate. Okay, and that's the actual the furnace, the flame that our body burns at. And what we want to do is, just to breathe, lay in your bed and breathe. And that you always have a flame, okay, the metabolic flame. And it's burning, and the amount of energy it requires to keep the flame, lit. What do I mean? The amount of energy it takes you just to lay in bed and breathe, okay? So now we have to calculate your activity levels, and you have to factor that in. And once we factor that in, then we can calculate and convert it into caloric intake, or the amount of calories, that you're going to need per day. So once you've able to calculate that, you have to say, okay, is my caloric intake greater than or less than that? If you're gaining weight, that means your caloric intake is greater than your metabolic rate plus calories for activity level. If we want to lose weight, we want to take that number, okay? Let's say 1,500. Let's say your metabolic rate plus activity level is 1,500 calories a day. Okay, you work out. You're at the gym because I see you at the gym with your girlfriends, and so your daily caloric intake to maintain your metabolic rate plus activity levels 1500. But you want to lose a few pounds. So what are you going to do? We're going to decrease and lower the intake, meaning less than 1500, okay? But to do it healthy, you're also going to increase your activity level. So you're burning on both sides. You're going to take in less and burn more. And that's how we can do this and lose weight healthy rather than just doing a starvation diet.
I know. I knew somebody that she had a weight problem. She was much bigger than she wanted to be. And after realizing that just not eating wasn't helping, she went to the gym, and from just a year of working out every single day, cutting down calories, like I've seen her go from you look beautiful to wow, like you look amazing. Like she lost all the weight that she wanted to.
Right.
And it was really like crazy seeing how like she would track all the calories that she would take and the different foods that she was eating. She used to eat really bad food. And she would eat a lot. She would binge eat. She would snack. And then when she started cutting down and she started working out more, it was crazy to see how fast everything was working, like
That's
so
right.
quickly, so much faster than like someone who just wouldn't eat through a day and like would starve themselves.
Right.
So it was really crazy to see like how she overcame everything
change.
and made that change. It takes a lot. I've seen her like have a problem with it. It takes a lot, especially if you're someone who likes to eat. Like I love to eat. I love food. But her putting down your foot and just saying like, I'm going to do this and seeing everything that just slowly, like all of the process, like the whole process, I saw it, and she took pictures and videos and it was crazy, but it really worked. And honestly, like just hearing about this, like,
Yeah. Now you're seeing it. You're hearing what I'm saying, but you actually saw a girlfriend and actually live it. Okay?
Yeah, like you see people on, especially like people on social media, you see them like talking about it and you really don't know what they're doing. You have no idea. You just see what they want you to see.
Right.
But actually seeing my friend do it and like learning about it, it was a great thing to see, honestly.
That's good. Yep. Again, that's on both ends. So you are burning more and taking in less.
Yeah.
So that's the best of both worlds. Turn it up a little bit and then take in a little less. What else? Okay. Hypothyroidism. If you have a problem with your thyroid, again, I would say that like the master gland is the gland that controls your metabolism here. If we're having problems with it and it's slow, if you develop hypothyroidism, you're going to gain weight. Decrease in hormone levels. As we age, both men and women lowered estrogen and testosterone levels. We're going to start gaining weight, and also going to lose the muscle density. We'll get a little bit smaller. Elevated cortisol levels, okay? What we call stress eating. If you have high cortisol levels, what do? We eat more, okay? It's just like when you take prednisone, right? Medication prednisone. If you're taking it for a long period of time, you're going to eat more and you gain weight. You can have what's called Cushing syndrome, like Cushing syndrome, and you get the moon face and you can get the hump on your back. I mean, there's a actual medical condition called Cushing's, and that's what it is. But you can get the same thing when we start gaining weight, especially if you're taking a lot of prednisone, steroids, okay? Not the anabolic or bodybuilders use, the catabolic, and that would be like your prednisone.
Okay, so what's an appropriate amount of weight that like we should be losing?
Yes, well, a healthy weight is about 2.5 pounds a week. 2.5 pounds a week.
Now, how do you like? What type of activity would you have to do just to lose the 2.5 pounds per week? Like, what would I have to do to like get to there?
Well, we're going to go over both ends. Again, you're going to increase your activity level, your aerobic level, okay, with some weightlifting. Weights alone is not going to burn enough calories because you need to get your heart rate up, so we're burning. We want that flame. We want to turn that flame up. And then also you want to decrease the input, okay, the amount of calories. And you want, like I said, complex carbohydrates. Get rid of the simple sugars. Complex carbohydrates, a high fiber diet, and you want there's a ratio with your fats, so you want to go a 1 to 2 to 2 ratio. Saturated fat, 1 for every gram of saturated fat, 2 grams of poly and mono unsaturated, and make those changes. Decrease your salt intake as well.
That means go to Trader Joe's. Okay, so what is semaglutide?
Yes, okay. So we covered this last week. Semaglutide is a GLP-1 agonist, which is an injectable medication. It also goes by Wegovy and Ozempic, and that's the injectable form, and the oral form is Rybelsus. And this medication initially was developed to treat type 2 diabetes. The medication lowers blood sugar levels and reduces the risk of macro and microvascular pathology. So I want to clarify, what is that? That's vascular, like the hardening of the arteries. And so, where we got retinopathy, we have nephropathy, neuropathy, and you can have coronary artery disease. This medication also lowers the risk for heart issues. All right, so we're down to about 45 seconds. Let's see if we can do, we'll think one more. Yeah, how does it, let's go over.
How does it work? How does semaglutide work if you wanted to?
Yeah, semaglutide works by increasing insulin. What it does is it tickles the beta cells in the pancreas, and it releases more insulin, and it lowers the amount of glucagon and delayed gastric emptying, and reduces appetite. So again, if you're not this is the input. If we don't feel hungry, okay, we're not going to put something in our mouth, okay, unless you're bored. And the key is to be active so you're not bored.
All right, and it is safe, right? I just want to make sure everybody knows that.
It is safe, but there are contraindications, and that's why you're going to come to Dr. O'Brien, come to me, so you can learn about this medication and see if you qualify.
The content heard on the Ask Dr. Tommy O show is for informational or educational purposes only and does not substitute professional medical advice or consultation with healthcare professionals.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.